It has been such a long day up until this point. Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to Around the Scene, presented by Playing with Rockets. I am your host, Perino, and joining me today is the CEO of RBG Esports, Mr. Randomize. How you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. It's been a long day, but we're not done yet. We still got this show to do, and I'm doing pretty well.
Yeah, it's been a minute. It was actually funny because when when RLCS was on, I met you for the first time,
Mhm.
and of course, this was before we had really introduced ourselves, and I just remember like walking up, being like, "Hi, like I'm Matt. How you doing? I work with PWR." And so it's just good to have you back. Hot one today, though, huh? Oh my god.
Yeah, yeah. No, 90 degrees in New Jersey. I think it was like 90 over there where you're at too.
Oh yeah, I'm in
So bad.
Philadelphia. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
just a brutal one out there, especially for October.
yeah. It's always sunny in Philly, I guess, right?
Yeah, and apparently it's always 90 degrees and humid and sunny while we're at it.
Exactly.
But guys, if you didn't know, this is Around the Scene episode number 24. We are here every Wednesday for you to get your fix on all things Rocket League. If you like this, be sure to give us a follow or a sub here on Twitch, YouTube, or your podcast service of choice. Guys, we're almost at 100 followers on Spotify. I didn't check it before the show, but make sure you follow us on Spotify because we have a cool little community that hangs out there.
I do follow it too.
Yeah, it's a tremendous service that we have. And
Mhm.
again, not just on Spotify, we're also on iTunes and Google Play and Pocket Cast. So make sure to check us out on all of those places. You can also, if you would like, you can also support the show by kicking us a buck over on patreon.com/playingwithrockets. Now, guys, if you want to be a part of the show, the only way to do that is to join us here on twitch.tv/playingwithrockets and post questions and topics there in chat. I can't promise that we will get to everyone, but if you pop in and say hi, we might give you a little shout out. And speaking of shout outs, I'd like to give a quick shout out to our Patreon sponsors for this month. They are, of course, Father of Five and Jonesy. And so, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, we're going to head into our Rocket League news segment. Guys, there's a lot to cover in this one, so we've got a few things to break down. I'm going to, there's 3 topics here. I don't know which one to start with. Randomize, what do you think you want to talk about first of our little items there?
Out of everything here, let's talk about something that was pretty much just released, which is the ELEAGUE to bring TV and RLCS and all that.
Okay, so just coming out hot off the press today. I just caught literally just before the show. I was looking up, the stories to make sure we had everything covered for today, and I literally just picked this one up like right before. So there is a Psyonix official announcement presenting ELEAGUE Road to the Rocket League World Championship. So, as part of a partnership between Psyonix and ELEAGUE, a groundbreaking 6-episode series, ELEAGUE Road to the Rocket League World Championship will debut this Friday on TBS. The series will blend high-octane Rocket League action with award-winning documentary-style storytelling that takes fans behind the scenes of Rocket League Esports' biggest tournament, the RLCS. The series will dive into multiple perspectives, including the players and their families, to offer viewers a glimpse into what it's like to live life as a Rocket League pro at the highest level of competition. Fans will have the opportunity to view never-before-seen content and interviews that tell the story of what it was like to win, lose, and compete at the World Championship. Fans of Rocket League Esports and the drama of competition won't want to miss this series. So, again, that is debuting actually this Friday, October 4th, immediately following MLB postgame coverage. And this is kind of a big deal. I mean, this looks and sounds amazing.
Yeah, no, I honestly when I heard about it, I got a little nervous at first because I thought when I first saw the tweet come out, I thought they were gonna put this all on on TBS. And I was like, that's cool. And then I looked at the schedule and I saw them all on Fridays. And I was like, wait, what about RLRS? You're taking away from us. But then I realized, oh no, this is like behind the scenes. And it doesn't even start till 11 p.m. Eastern time.
Right.
which to me, like, that's great. It's like RLRS is done on Twitch, then everyone runs into the living room, click on TBS, and then you got to watch some background stuff. And I think honestly, in my opinion, this is probably one of the best moves to bring to TV
Oh, no doubt.
because there's ESPN with Overwatch, which is cool, and then they have like League of Legends, Dota on there sometimes. And then TBS with ELEAGUE with all the esports that they show, but they're just showing esports. And my thing that I was always saying is you got to get people passionate with the idea of esports before you shove esports in people's faces. One of the biggest problems is that, we have average age of people from, I want to say maybe 15 years old to probably about 25, give or take the few people that are older in esports. But then when you try to get parents involved in this, yeah, there's Fortnite, but we're not going to talk about that ever again. Uh, but there's still that. How do you get them to want to watch this? And I think this is perfect. If anyone that's not into esports is on TBS, they just watch Major League Baseball, and then this comes up, they're gonna go, "Oh, great, esports," and they go like, "Here's the behind the scenes," and they go, "Huh, maybe I'll take a second to see what this is about," and then they get to see like the pros and where they came from and how they're doing, and everything that you normally don't get to see, and then people that don't necessarily care about esports might start caring because this is something that even professional sports don't even do enough, which is behind the scenes stuff,
Right.
So I think this was probably one of the best choices E-League and Psyonix could do together to not just help Rocket League and Rocket League esports, but to help esports in general. Honestly, Psyonix has been, in my opinion, one of the big like pivotal moments, getting uh Sony to actually say, all right, fine, cross platform with
Mhm.
all the other games, and now other games are involved in the whole full cross platform with like every platform, Xbox, PS4, I guess Switch and PC. And now they're doing behind the scenes stuff on national TV. And it's literally Psyonix has just constantly been, like I said before, just this pivotal moment in all of esports. And just this itself proves it. It's awesome.
Yeah, I have to say I really like the way first of all having them Friday evenings is really good, but then also the fact that so these are going to be following, MLB post game, right? Well, these are playoff MLB games. It's October, so for those who don't follow baseball, there's going to be a larger audience in general tuning in for these playoff baseball games. Now whether they stick through the whole post game show, debatable, but you're going to have a huge audience coming into it. Like that time slot is actually pretty good. Like I have to say,
Yeah.
like that is like an incredible time slot to get for this whole, series going.
Yeah, no, it's genius. I'm like I didn't even think about the playoffs. I completely forgot that
Yeah.
it's playoff season. And you're right. This is a perfect time. And I also like how it's like sliding towards December, which is then kids can go, there's a new blueprints coming out and I'm
Yeah.
gonna need money for this.
Mhm.
Christmas present?
Yeah, exactly. Well, but I agree with what you said earlier too about how like content like this isn't done enough in general. One of the things that made me think of that was Manchester City Football Club, which is a soccer team from England. They do a lot of stuff like on YouTube, and it's a lot of it's the same thing. It's kind of like fluff, but it is. It's like behind the scenes. Like they go into like training and like interviews with the players and stuff. And the thing with that brand is now so popular in the U.S. because their content is free to access and it's out there, and they were not anymore, but they were the only ones doing it. So to have that equivalent level of content come out for Rocket League is huge.
Yeah, no, it is. I mean, honestly, an easy example to show that this does work. Look at 100 Thieves. They've been
Yes.
alive for about a year, and they worked on so much content first, and before they even became this huge esports team, like another one. And it was a lot of just behind the scenes, and people love that because honestly, esports and sports are very common when it comes to you see your favorite players on the screen, you cheer on for them, and when it's done, it's done. The only difference that esports have is there's Twitch or Mixer or whatever.
Right.
where you might have a chance to talk to your favorite pros if you have the money for it, sadly, for some pros. But then you still never get to see your pro be human. Like that's what people
Yeah.
sometimes forget. Like, you know, a funny joke, Cloud9, Squishy, a robot. When you get to see him be a human, like I follow him on Instagram, and it was really cool to see him and his girlfriend on vacation. You got to see him
Yeah.
human, but you don't get to see that a lot unless you search for it. It's like, well, okay, stop searching for it. Here it is in your face.
Yeah,
So,
and again, I've always, one of the big things, as you said, because esports, it's a lot of Twitch, right? Mixer, YouTube, whatever. Getting the content out on cable television is such like, and like, because I know like kids are young, as you said, like the target demographic, right, is trends younger, so people are like, cable, really? But like, guys, like, you don't understand, like, there are so many people that watch cable, like, and to have it like on like because this, we're talking mainstream, right?
mhm, yeah,
Have it out on a mainstream platform like that is so huge.
yeah, yeah. I mean, and it's TBS.
Yeah, it's
Um,
not some no name channel. It's
right, right. It's not like channel 93 that you have to pay for it.
right, right.
The only thing that, man, I gotta admit, this is just something. It was a little joke that I made with my friends,
Uh oh.
and they make fun of me now. It was a lot of my like non esports friends that just kind of they honestly only follow RBG because they're supporting me.
Hmm.
Um, but I was like, "Huh, great, esports on TBS, very funny," and they're like, "Ha, that's right," because they see it as a
Yeah.
joke. I'm like, "Ah, darn it."
Yeah.
So
No.
they're gonna bite me in the butt with this one too when I tell them about it.
Yeah. I'm actually also interested in seeing like who they have pulled for like their content and stuff. Like I know. Like I'll be interested to see like what teams they actually take a look at. Like, is it going to be just North American teams? Are they going to talk about the EU teams, or what about the South American and OCE teams? Like, I have to imagine it'll be pretty much centered around North American teams. Would be my assumption, but I don't know. I'd like to see who they get on it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's one of those. We'll just have to wait and see.
Well, we're not gonna have to wait very long because the first episode is Friday. They just
Yeah.
made the announcement today, and like I had to like triple check the date when they said it. Like, oh yeah, by the way, this Friday, October 4th. Like, oh, so I guess like they're just running with it, huh?
Yeah, but it's typical psionics. Tell everybody everything last second, you know?
Yeah.
Like in all the past seasons of RLCS and RLRS top, 128 play-ins qualifiers. It's like, hey, by the way, you got a month to sign up. Oh, oh crap. So
I'm
yeah,
just
you're like,
happy this year they came out early with the with where land is going to be. It's going to be in Madrid, in case you don't know. But
oh no, yeah, I saw that and I went, well, it was nice when it was in RLCS. I
yeah,
mean,
when it
New
was right
Jersey.
down the street
So
from you guys.
it was literally not joking. It was a 25-minute drive for me. It
Oh,
was glorious.
yeah, I mean, when I saw that it was Newark, because again I'm in Philadelphia, I was like, well, I'm going
Mhm.
because it's only like hour and a half, 2 hours with traffic maybe from Philly. So I was
Yeah.
like, okay, well I'm 100% going, and now I'm like Madrid. I don't really have the
Yeah,
money or the time for that.
can't really drive to that one. But
No, not
speaking of
easily.
driving, I gotta do a quick flex just because
Okay.
it was like the coolest moment of my life.
Oh, all right.
Um,
Let's hear it.
I at the venue that I hosted the 2v2 LAN at Helix Esports in North Bergen, New Jersey. I was actually preparing for it, I think on either Wednesday or Thursday, and all of a sudden NRG and Cloud9 both walked in saying like, "Hey, can we scrim here?" And I almost lost it. And I got to
Really?
hang out with them pretty much the whole night. It was the coolest thing. Sad Junior and I sat and talked for probably like 3 hours while they were scrimming, and then I got to hang out with them, play some basketball with the guys. And then they realized like they have to take 2 Ubers. So the coolest moment of my life, I got to drive Garrett G, Justin, and his dad back to the hotel, and I was just chilling with them, and I was like,
That's so cool.
"Oh, this is," and it was so cool also because of the fact it's like I looked up to these pros for so long. Not so much Justin because he's only been in the scene for a little bit, but
Hmm. But some of the
just
older
the
guys, yeah.
fact that yeah, like I've looked up to these pros. I've always thought it was so cool and blah blah blah. And I got to be human with them. Like literally, it's the coolest thing when I can like walk up and say, what's up, Justin? He'll be like, oh, what's up, Brandon? I'm like, all right, finally, I got some respect in
Yeah.
the esports scene.
I have clout, man. That's all I need. It's just some clout.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Sorry, quick
No.
flex, but I'm good.
Yeah, I know. It was funny because because Ryan, PWR Ryan, who
Mhm.
normally hosts the show with me, same thing. Got promoted to the rival series. Started casting. It's like, oh, it's just a quick little flex. Yeah, I hang out with my rival series casters. I know the top pros. It's no big deal. I'm like, okay, dude. Okay, dude.
I hang out with them too, Ryan. Relax. I get to do both. I get both sides. You got one. I think we're getting carried away. I'm sorry.
No, 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 no. It's totally good. Again, this is one of the reasons I love this show and I love doing this show is because like I love just getting people on and just like talking to them. Like we don't really try to like stick like to our, we don't
Yeah.
have like a set like segment. So it is all good. But with that, anything else to add on ELEAGUE with their TV series coming to TBS?
Mm, I'm gonna watch it tomorrow or on Friday,
Oh, I
and I'm
know.
gonna enjoy it.
Yeah, and
That's all I got
again,
to say.
yeah, guys, that'll be debuting Friday, October 4th, 11 p.m. Eastern on TBS. So make sure you get your parents' cable provider information so you can tune into it.
There you go.
All right, but our next piece of news is also another big one. So this one just came out yesterday, October 1st. Blueprints and the final crate revealed. So here's a first look at the new system replacing crates. So obviously Psyonix earlier this year announced in conjunction with Epic Games that they're going to discontinue the crate and key system. So really quick, I'm just going to sort of take the highlights out of this announcement really quick, and you can also find it on rocketleague.com. So a game update in December will introduce a new system called Blueprints. After you play a match of Rocket League, you'll have a chance to obtain a blueprint, a new type of drop that will replace crates. When you receive a blueprint, it will show you exactly what item you can create from it for a set price. Once they're in your inventory, blueprints will allow you to pay to create the item it offers and receive it immediately, or you can leave it in your inventory and choose to create the item later. Like the crate items that preceded them, blueprints can drop with special attributes like painted, certified, and special editions. So, there's a bit more in it. There's really two quick things that I'll highlight before we really get into it. So regarding trade-ins, changes are coming to our trade-in system that we want to message well in advance. When blueprints go live and replace our paid crates, we will also disable the ability to use paid content with our current trade-in system. More specifically, that means the items obtained from blueprints, the item shop, or legacy content acquired from crates cannot be traded in after these changes go live. We also plan to implement an updated inventory management feature that will allow you to archive items that you don't want to see in your active list of customizations. This change will not impact your ability to trade in our free post-game drops. And then additionally, one last thing, items from blueprints in the item shop will be obtained by credits, our new premium currency replacing keys. You'll use credits to create items from blueprints, upgrade to Rocket Pass Premium, and buy content from the item shop. Esports tokens will be separate from credits, and they will be the only way to purchase items from the esports shop. So, there's kind of a lot to unpack there. Let's settle in. So first of all, like quick reaction. What do you think of the blueprint system? Are we a fan? We not a fan?
Um, quick reaction. That's my quick reaction. It was
Nah,
one of those.
eh.
Okay.
I like that
Yeah.
they're gonna go with I like that you're gonna have the ability to see what you're going to get before you open it. I think that this change was long coming.
Well, you know why about that, right?
Yeah, because of the gambling. They don't want
Yeah,
gambling.
the whole gambling stuff. And honestly, when the whole partnership of Epic and Psyonix, I literally said to everyone goes, "Oh, what do you think is going to happen? Do you think they're going to change the esports? Do you think maybe Psyonix is going to help with the Fortnite esports?" I know I just brought it up again.
Mm.
Um, and the first thing I said is no. The first thing that's going to happen is items. And like, what? They're like, what? I'm like, yeah, items, crates, all that gambling stuff. Fortnite does not gamble. You know what's in the shop. You know what you're gonna get. You just wait till it comes out, and when it's in the shop, you buy it, and boom, you're done. And when I saw that two combined, and then the blueprints thing came out, I went, all right, that's close enough. And then
Yeah.
I went and read the item shop one. I went, okay, there was my prediction.
Yeah, the one thing that I really find interesting is how it's going to affect the way people handle their items now. So like even like for example, like myself, like I have like so many crates and stuff just sitting in my inventory because I don't open them. You know, if I paid to open all of the all the crates that I've accumulated lifetime over the course of playing this game, like I'd be broke. Like I would have spent thousands of dollars in this game to open them all. So like they just sit there, and I have to imagine that for a lot of people, like I think it'll be nice to just like have a system where like if like 1-to-1 the crates get converted into blueprints, and then the blueprints can then just become like you can only open the really good items, basically. So you're just,
Yeah.
cherry picking which ones. What they haven't said is a pricing specific, which that will be interesting, I think.
Honestly, I think it's gonna be the same thing as the esports credit. They're just separating them at the moment. And then I don't know too much about the esports side and the deals they have with the organizations because we're not an RLCS team yet. If I was an
Yet.
RLCS team, and yeah, there you go. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
But if we were an RLCS team and I've had to make these negotiations with Psionics, I probably would have a better insight. But what I'm banking on is that when an esports credit is purchased, Psionics will then take a portion of that to the side. And then when you purchase said item, the code will generate saying these credits were used for this item, send credit amount to esports org
Yeah.
and players. So I have a feeling that's the reason why they're splitting it. If anyone's wondering, why don't they just put it together? That's the reason why. Is because the esports credits are coded probably in a way where it's like esport credit bought, code in which item was bought, and then money sent. Like they probably have that all set. So that makes sense how they're doing this whole separate credit thing. Um, I'm gonna bank on it that it's honestly gonna be the same thing as the esports credit. One key equals 100 credits, and then what they're gonna do instead is depending on the value of the item, it's probably gonna be like the rares or 100, the wow, I just blanked out on every single
Yeah.
tier of them.
Yeah, it's like the rares and then the very rares and then the
Yeah.
imports, exotics, yeah.
Yeah, I'm banking that like, if you're gonna get a black market, it's probably gonna be like $10, $15.
Yeah, that's what I'm
And
thinking.
I'm thinking, like, the yellows are gonna probably be, like, anywhere between 7 and 10. The reds are gonna be probably between 5 and 7, and then from then on down, it's like 2, 1, 50 cents, maybe, I don't know. But that's what I'm banking on.
Yeah, the no trade up thing with the paid content is really interesting to me because it makes sense in the sense that, because like same thing, even like with trade ups, like, when you get like, a bunch of imports, and you're trying to trade them up to an exotic, like you don't know what you're gonna get out of the exotic. I mean, it could be something really good. You could get white zombas, or you can get just regular plain old zombas that are worth nothing. So I
Yeah,
find it
but
interesting that they're going that way with that. It makes sense.
I yeah, no, it's still because if you do that, that falls right back into the whole gambling thing
Hmm.
because you think to yourself, all right, I could pay $5 for this one import, or I could pay, you know, $4 to open or to do two blueprints, very rares or whatever the order is. I'm forgetting now,
Hmm.
and then trade them up with the rest of the ones I have, and then boom, I now just saved the dollar. But the thing is you're gambling that dollar save because then you go, oh, I didn't get it. I just spent $4. Now I got to pay the extra five to get that item.
Hmm.
So they're still falling under the whole gambling law. So it makes 100%. If anything that I'm a little annoyed about that I did not notice here, maybe I just missed it, but they didn't mention anything about the blueprints being tradable between players.
Yeah, they
Which that annoys me. I'm like, are they gonna do that? It's like if I already have titanium white Zombas, and I got the blueprint for another one. Can I trade that to another person? Because it's always been the whole gambling thing that people have been going against. No one's really been going against the whole trade market.
Right,
Some
right.
people are against it, but that's still there. So I wonder
That's
how that's
actually
gonna get affected.
That's actually a really interesting point. So when you purchase credits, are they linked exclusively to your account, or can you trade credits between players? Because you're right, like let's say you get, a titanium white Zamba drop in theory, right?
Yeah.
And then you're like, "Oh, like this is worth like 80 credits. Like I want to, sell this to someone." But they haven't really come forward and said like that you can do that. So, you know, if you have a bunch of like players choice crates, let's say, because it's one of the few that you can actually again, I'm just going on white zombas as an
Mhm.
example because it's a pricey item. It's worth like, I don't even know what it is worth these days, but in the past it's been worth like 80 to 100 keys, so a lot. And
Right.
if you have a blueprint just sitting for it, like it's worth money, and it's worth real money too. Like, so I don't know if I my guess is that decision is probably still ongoing. They're probably still having discussions internally about whether or not they're going to allow it. Would be my assumption on that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those we're gonna have to another wait and see moment because the even the whole I, I don't know, because even if you open up a blueprint, is that tradable? Like you said before, like can I open it? Like if like let's say you don't have money right now and you can't buy credits, but I have some extra credits I didn't use, and you and I've been playing together for so
Mm-hmm.
long, and I like you as a friend. Can I, you know, use the blueprints, pay for it, and then send you over the white zombas? Because that's it's still kind of. I think there's a lot of question marks up there, and part of me feels that they also don't have the answers, which is that why they never sent them out.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think Cynox also does a generally good job of they tend to look for reactions first. They
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
definitely like to throw people a bone and then come
Mhm.
back and say, "Oh, well, we saw some feedback." Like the RLCS wheels for this season is actually a good example of that, where like they first came out like, "Oh yeah, here's the Emerald Pros," and then like everybody were like, "They're ugly and we don't like them," and they're like,
And
"Well,
they've
we
already been
fixed
out
them."
before.
Yeah, and they're like, "We heard you and we made something better." And it's like, okay, cool. So yeah,
Yeah.
definitely would say that they're looking to gauge the reaction first. I don't know. I'm interested to hear what everyone says about it. But again, that sort of just came out very recently too. So we only have
Right.
hot takes at the moment. But anything else you want to add about the blueprints here? I feel like we covered a
Yeah,
good
no, we
amount of
covered
ground
it.
on it.
I think we're good with that. Yeah.
And so moving on to our final item here in the Rocket League news. This is a big one for you as well, I'm sure, is that the RLRS qualifications are complete. So for this, we are just going to talk about North America because frankly, I'm not sure either Random or I could give EU any sort of justice about talking about it. But really quickly, just from this past weekend, the 10-team roster going into this season will be Afterthought, Bull Send, Compadres, Linked Up, Nefarious, Paradox, who is former Splice, Plot Twist, RBG, Upper 90, and the Zookeepers. So we had 7 teams make it out of the 128 play-ins. Rand, did you watch any of the play-ins? Because I unfortunately did not.
I caught most of the games I was extremely interested in, and then the ones I missed, I was either probably busy or I was like, I probably already know who's gonna make it. So, um, I got to see a decent amount of it. I think the one game I made sure I watched was the Nefarious game,
Mm-hmm.
because there's an ex RBG player on there, and that's Thunda. Thunda has been an amazing player when he was on the roster, and Swan and I have been cheering on for him and watching him grow even more than from where he started with us. And to see him make it into RLRS just makes me really happy because it just proves one of the reasons why we were happy with the old roster, because seeing an old roster player make it, just like, it shows like, all right, there's growth. So that was like I knew that was the main goal. I made sure I had to watch that game, and then I wanted to make sure I watched the U90 game because I'm very good friends with U90 Arsenal, and I love Mexican diabetes too. You know, they're just amazing people. So I was making sure I was cheering on for them. And honestly, Democat, gotta give him props. Two different teams make it into upper 90 or into um rival series
Oh yeah.
2 seasons in a row. Pretty impressive.
Yeah, there's a there we have a really stacked roster for RLRS this season.
Mhm.
It's always one of those competitions that, like, and especially now with 10 teams as well, like now that they expanded it, like there's so much like going on there, and like all the different teams and the players and the matchups, and you just it's one of those where you never really know who's gonna really come out
Mhm.
on top. So I'm happy for all the teams that made it. That's definitely because it's a
Yeah.
stressful day. Like
Oh,
you
yeah.
play a long time, and you're banking everything on getting in. Like it's a long day.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, there were some teams that I felt were pretty close to being the upsetters.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I can't remember exactly who Zookeepers versed, but I remember I believe the Zookeepers match was supposed to be the uh the upset match, and Zookeepers were the upset team, I believe. Don't quote me on that. I don't remember off the top of my head, but you know, Porklet, Tool, Bambi. I've been watching them for a while as well. I'm very proud of them. I know Porklet. I've been watching that player for maybe 2 off seasons, and just to see him get here just makes me happy. I knew like when I said before, there's some teams I just said I knew were gonna make it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Honestly, the one team that I said that I knew was gonna make it off the top of the head, or like off the top of my head, actually 2 teams, Linked Up and Bullsend, where they were the top 2 teams where I said they're gonna make it. And a lot of people were like, "Oh, you're just saying Bullsend because they beat your team at WGN." I go, "No, Stokely is an amazing player. And Calm is also an amazing player. And Stokely, Calm, and JBot were all winners of the RBG Helix Esports lands, 2 different events. But I got to talk to them personally. I got to watch them personally. I knew where their motives were. So just seeing Olsen make RLRS, it was just one of those. Yep, called it.
Yeah, and that's also because Stokely in particular has also been a long time participant in the playing with Rockets tournaments too. So we at PWR have seen him for a long time. And then, as you said,
Mhm.
I was there for when you guys had the Helix 2v2 during RLCS, and we got put into JBot and Comms group. Yeah, that wasn't a fun time. it was
Yeah,
not it was not a fun
and
time.
Stokely was a sub for an RLCS team last season.
Yes, he was.
I think it was Space Asian Gaming. Was it? Now it's flying out of my head.
Yeah, the other one that I thought really performed to expectations as well was Afterthought. That's
Mhm.
Shock, Sathu, and Dapper. First of
Yeah.
all, good to see Dapper, back in a competitive team, back in one of the leagues. But then also Sathu as well, because those were two situations where you really felt for the players in that one. So I'm glad that they have found a roster at the minimum that's going to be an RLRS this season. So that's good for them.
Yeah. Yeah, one team I can definitely say I am surprised they didn't make it, but I still have questions about the team comp, and that was 72 pin connector. Um
Yeah, that was
because
Jacob and
Noxus and Line
Lion
Blaze.
Blaze. Yes.
And Noxus is an ex RBG player. Jacob is an ex RBG player. So I got to like study their gameplay. And Line Blaze, I believe, is like a really good ones player. And I felt that Noxus and Jacob are both very strong players, but I never felt their team comp was a good mesh. I feel Jacob needs a team that was kind of like, and I'm going way back. Jacob needs like an old Magnus Metanaris and a lot team where
Yeah.
they played more defensively while one person played up. If Jacob has like, if you can let go of the leash and let Jacob run, that
Mm-hmm.
allows him to do his wacky game style. And I feel that when you have a player like that, Noxus gets pushed back in defense, and that's not where he's supposed to be. That the kid is a powerhouse. He finds wacky angles too, but he does them in a little bit more predictable way than Jacob. So like his teammates know where to go because Noxus does a good job setting players up and also a good job of taking the shot. So does Jacob, but I felt like it was almost like it was a mirror that
Right.
they both wanted to do that. So, and that was the problem with the old roster of Noxus, Car, and Thunder. I could talk about experience when Car and Thunder started to have a little bit of problems. Noxus had to stay back on defense, and that's when everything went wrong. But the second I saw Noxus more on offense, I knew we were going to win the games.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
that's where he's comfortable. So I was a little upset to see that they didn't make it, but it was one of those you hate to see it because you knew it was going to happen, but I didn't want it to be like that.
Yeah, another one too that I was a little upset that didn't make it was Rogreg's team. I believe he had been picked up by
Oh, Sway,
Sway.
yes,
Yeah.
I was upset about that too.
I know, and I looked at the teams. I didn't see them, and I was like, oh man, because
Yeah,
I've worked with Rogreg, a little bit, just on the show here, and he's a really good dude, and they had good results going into it, and it because like not everyone can make it. That's just the nature of the
hmm,
beast, and
yeah,
like
yeah,
you're never gonna have a situation where, oh well, definitely these seven are gonna make it. Like there's gonna be some variance, and yeah, I wanted them to make it. So that was really the one that when I
yeah,
didn't see their name, I was like, oh man.
yeah. No, I love Raw Greg too. Raw Greg, Borky, I think Raw Greg is just an amazing person in general. I got to meet him at RLCS,
Hmm.
and he listened so quickly because when we were having all the problems, Raw Greg was like, "Need help? Let me know. You need advice? Let me know." When we needed to stall and I needed to just put something on the stream when we had all the problems happening, I was like, "Hey, Raw Greg, you want to do an interview?" He's like, "All right." Like no questions,
Yeah,
no. I don't want. You want to do it? No. Like he's like, "Okay." Like he understood. I needed something on the camera at the moment.
yeah, yeah,
Um, he was a great, and yeah, and it's upsetting. I think Sway was definitely would have been a really good contender. And I was really hoping this was gonna be the upset team that was gonna make it. Avidity. Avidity
yeah. A lot of people
Esports.
had Avidity on.
Oh man, they grinded so hard. They came out of nowhere. They were a sleeper team. People said, who are these people?" The meme was going around and going, "Who's Avidity? Who's Avidity?" Everyone was making jokes,
Mm,
but it was like you could joke all you want. They were coming out and they were making moves. And it just, that's the bummer of play-ins is it's one day and you better pray that you are on fire that one day. And you get
yeah,
2 chances. It's a double elimination, and that's it. Over, done. It's like,
it's
it's so rough.
it's so rough. And the one thing I saw too, like because I was looking on Twitter briefly, was a lot of the players weren't satisfied with how they seeded the tournament. I saw from Ryan's that there were some questions about who had which seed and which group, blah blah blah, and it's like that's also a tough one too because as you said, it's just one day, so like it makes a tremendous difference if you're seated in a difficult group or an easy one. Obviously that's subjective, but where you're seated makes a huge difference, and you're never gonna get that 100% right, but it just again it's kind of unfortunate that a lot of
You
people
know,
weren't happy with the seating.
I'm I'm gonna be that guy,
No, I know what you're
and
gonna say
and
because I was thinking it too, but go ahead.
I'm gonna say, you know what? Too bad.
Yeah.
There's so many communities out there. There's the Gauntlet from RBG. There's the I forgot what it's called, but the Launchpad. I remember now.
Yes.
Launchpad from Playing with Rockets. They didn't really. I was actually surprised they didn't really use a lot of our tournaments to help with seeding. But
Yeah.
that's probably because there wasn't that as many notable teams that came to these tournaments. Guys, stop playing in these tournaments for the money and play in it for experience and seeding. Don't complain about seeding when so many organizations, including Cloud Fuel himself, create opportunities to get you the seed you deserve. Even Cloud Fuel had the Royal
Yeah, the Royal
Swiss thing
Rumble,
that
right?
we helped with. Yeah, like I helped stream that alongside with Mythical Esports with Vaudeville and Hunted. You know, I did that with Swan. We streamed as many games as we could. There's so many opportunities to get better seeding, and people just don't do it because they're like, "Oh, I feel I'm better." People throw an ego out there, or there's not enough money in it. You know what? Then boo hoo. You get the seed you deserved because you didn't show up. You know, and
Yeah.
God, sorry, I can go on for hours of about the Rocket League community when it comes to seeding. I'm tired of it. I mean, RBG hosted one Underlord tournament, 64 player tournament. It packed up in 5 hours. We released it at 11 p.m. Eastern, and it packed up in 5 hours. I woke up to a full tournament, and only two players out of 64 teams missed the tournament. That's 62 players that stayed and played the whole thing for a measly $100.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like
that's
one person won, and they played it anyway. And it's just I can go on about it forever. I'm sorry. End rant. It's
No,
one of those.
I feel you though, because I agree, like you have to an extent have a like a no bullshit, attitude about it. Like you can't there's only so much that can be given to you, You
Yeah.
have to take some for yourself. I guess that's the
Right.
way that I would phrase it. Like at some point, who cares about the number? Who cares about the seed? Like just play and just win. If you're good enough, you'll make it. That's.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. If you really think you're as good as you say, you should have won it all.
Yeah.
That's it. Period.
Yeah.
Done. Finito.
But obviously it's still very early for you guys, but as you are, of course, in the RLRS currently, you're watching these teams come
Mhm.
in. Any team in particular that really strike you as, oh, this team is really a threat to look out for? Like, I do not want to play these guys. Any of the teams, around you guys that you're really looking at and going, oh man, I'm staying away from that one.
There are 0 teams that I am in that feeling. There's
Okay.
not one team here that makes me go, "Oh boy, I'm not excited for that game." I, as the owner, and I know the players both want revenge against Bull Send.
Mm-hmm.
They feel that at WGN it was just they were like on a hot streak. It was the new team. No one knew what to expect. They weren't even in the top 4 predicted teams, and
Mm-hmm.
they came out. And it's like it's one of those. Well, if you don't know what you're expecting, sometimes it's kind of hard to prepare for it. So now that we know what we're expecting from Bull Send, I can't wait for them to verse Bull Send. We need to stop this back and forth rivalry against Plot Twist. We need to just be able to dominate them finally, not beat them in one event, lose in another event, beat them in another event, lose it. I'm tired of it. Um, if I had to answer that question, I'd be a little worried of Afterthought and Paradox.
Okay.
Only because Dapper has played with Rapid and Aeon when they were looking for their third, so Dapper can probably have some insight. Uh, Subin, our coach, has been doing an amazing work, so I'm not too worried. I feel like Subin probably has something up his sleeve to help the players go up against Afterthought. Sathu is a great player. It'll be a little scary, but I mean, we have
Mm-hmm.
Seabass, so you
Yeah.
can't even go with the whole RLCS experience,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
we have Seabass. And then Paradox, it's just more of I don't know what to expect with Shadow as the new third. And
Right.
that's where it's like I said before with the Bull Send. We didn't know what to expect with Bull Send. But we have Scrim Paradox, and most of our scrims go in our favor. Not all
Okay.
of them, but most of them. So off season wise, it's looking good against them. On season, not
Yeah.
sure. And then I guess the last team would be, I guess, Compadres, because Astro
Mm-hmm.
was an ex player of Aeon and Rapid when they were Continuum that turned into RBG. So yeah, not
Yeah.
sure.
No, I love that attitude though, because you can't be scared of anyone. You know, like you have to go in there
Yeah,
thinking you're gonna win every game, right? You know, you just got to go and be good with it.
yeah, yeah. I don't know.
So again, any closing thoughts about the RLRS teams and North American qualifiers?
We're making playoffs, and then we're gonna see the bottom two RLCS teams.
Nice, I like it. You heard it here first, guys. Go ahead and clip it.
Yeah, clip it right there. It's going on. It's gonna be on Reddit now, and then
Oh, yep.
and if we don't make it, then that's gonna be posted on Twitter and Reddit the whole time.
Oh boy.
Just
Oh
kidding.
boy.
I want to be a meme, man. Make me a meme. Come on.
Oh, don't be careful what you wish for. Be careful what you wish for.
See, Perino, I grew up in a world where don't clap if you can't get clapped back. And that's, being in New Jersey, growing up with the very mixed lifestyles of all my friends between being half Filipino and having a lot of Latino friends where just ragging on each other is an everyday thing.
Yeah,
I could take the internet on.
yeah.
I'm probably gonna
I
I'm
like
probably gonna cry in a corner for a little while when I come back. But I
But you don't have to show anyone that, so you're good.
they don't need to know that part. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's fine.
Guys, that concludes our very, very extended Rocket League news segment. We have our next segment coming up, which is the roster shuffle. And so we have one item in the roster shuffle because there is not that much action, frankly, with teams at this point because obviously play-ins just ended, so pretty much rosters are all set and ready to go. However, there is one notable item, and that is the Pittsburgh Knights have signed the Peeps. The wait is over. There was a lot of speculation. There were a lot of rumors about who the Peeps were going to go with. They were picked up by the Pittsburgh Knights. And so, really quick, I'm just going to pull up their Twitter announcement. They actually had a really nice video. I really liked their introduction video.
There's a video.
Yeah, they had something posted on their Twitter. So this is and they changed their title to the Peepsburg Knights. Very nice.
Nice.
But this is because I didn't, when I first heard the name, I first thought of the Pittsburgh Embers, which was the former Fibion group, and so it's not them.
Mhm.
So don't confuse the two. There's two organizations out of Pittsburgh, but this one's different. So this one's actually backed by the Pittsburgh Steelers. Actually, it's
Yeah.
if you go to their website, which is knights.gg, and that's like the KNI GHTS.gg. You can sort of go through and read about them. It seems like they got a really cool setup there. I really like this fit, and I don't know much about the org, but it seems like they're a good org, and I'm glad that they're in the scene.
They're a great org. I know they're a great org. We've done extensive research on them because we were curious about the whole sports getting involved in esports.
Mm-hmm.
How Complexity is owned by the Cowboys, Pittsburgh Knights is basically the Steelers. And when we did our research, we came across a lot of information about them. And even Pittsburgh Knights was involved in PUBG. So when I was watching the PUBG esports for like a long time, I got to see one of the rosters in action. They're good people. They take care a lot of their players, from what I heard. So
yeah,
I'm happy to hear it.
The big thing I always look for when I hear about these orgs, because just purely as a fan, I care about one, do they have the financial backing to support a team, and do they care about their players? It's those two things, really. It's like if they have both those things, like I'll take anyone, and I'm glad I'm glad that the Peeps have finally got this ironed out, because it's a big deal to be signed by an org and have that backing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that is the only big news we have in the roster shuffle. I'm actually I'm looking at their I'm on their website. I'm looking on their Twitter, whatever. It looks like they have really cool merchandise. Those jerseys that they have are sick. It's like they got the
sicker than mine.
No, they're not. Well, Listen, Randomize. I'm trying to pump up all the teams here, okay, man? Listen. I'm just trying to help everyone. I understand.
Threw Perino right under the bus.
Just like saw the bus coming and like straight up just like full send and just put me straight into the path of it. Listen, man.
You tried to jump and then I double committed and then bumped you right back in front of the bus. You got
Pretty
demoed
much.
real fast.
Yeah, pretty
There's
much.
our
Yeah.
Rocket League puns.
Yay, there we go. Got him.
Got it.
But that'll pretty much do it for our roster shuffle news. Again, we just don't have that much else. The only other item that I'm looking at, right now is we have some caster news. So Stax and JamesBot have confirmed they're returning to RLRS. Corelli will be in the RLCS. And yeah, that's about all I got. I don't know. Do I count caster news as part of the roster shuffle? Can we do that now? Is that a thing? Who's in and who's out? Who's in on the cast?
Power Ryan is over at
Rival Esports. Yep.
And then we have all the CRL casters of Hunted and Botable and Meet and Greet.
Oh yeah. Well, I hadn't even talked about CRL yet because that was also this past weekend was the second qualifier. So we know.
Yeah, all the teams I wanted to make it in have not made it in. The only team that I want to make in is Rutgers, because they're New Jersey, and I think their game is happening right now. I have no idea how it's going.
I know. I was so upset that my team didn't make it. We kind of got so I say my team. I'm a graduate from Temple University, which is a Philadelphia school, and so I'm no longer eligible to play. But I'm still, of course, really good friends with a lot of the guys, and they had the whole issue with the qualifiers not running at the right time. They had to delay the first qualifier, and it was just kind of a disaster. So they couldn't even play in one of the qualifiers, and
that's a bummer.
Yeah, it's a little unfortunate, but always a tough competition this CRL because there's so much variance in who makes in and the turnover with the rosters too. It's like that whole scene is crazy, but I love watching it. It's so much fun.
I have to admit, I'm a little salty that CRL is happening right now. It started pretty much after I graduated college.
I know. I did the same thing.
And I was like, really? 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 You're gonna do this to me? Really?
I know. We tried to get in, I think it was the second or the third, it might have been the second season. But I was already a senior by that time. So we had one chance at a qualifier and then I graduated, thankfully. And I was like, really? Now I can't do it anymore. I wanted to play in this so bad. But the teams that are in are good now.
They're good, yeah. It was actually funny. I was contemplating about going back into school and get a business major.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, I can go to Montclair and then I can start a team there because I'm helping my alma mater, Montclair State University, with their esports scene right now.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, the Rocket League team is looking up potentially either myself or someone else being the coach, and then me being the captain of it. And it's looking like it's one flat, a gold, and someone who just picked up the game last week.
I will say that I don't think that team will make CRL in the next one.
No, I don't. No.
Because again, for anyone that doesn't follow CRL, most of the university teams that make it, they're pretty much at this point with how developed the collegiate scene is now. They're pretty much all Grand Champ teams. I can't go through and look at every roster, but at this point, if you don't have a team that is just at the minimum at least full of Grand Champs or high C3s, at that level, there's no way, because the scene is so developed now that which is a good thing. I really like it, but it's hard. It's hard now to get in.
Yeah, I mean, even if I tried, I'm only a champ 2, so
only a champ 2. Hey, listen, champ 2 is still better than 90% of the community or whatever it is. You're still.
Oh, here we go with this percentage thing again.
Oh, well, I'm a grand champ, so
Wow. You're the best of zero
Yeah,
point zero 0.01%.
I'm a top 1% player, thank you.
Oh, excuse me. Oh wait, that's Apex. Whoops. I
Oh
remember the
no.
Apex percentages.
Oh no.
Oh man, no, I don't know. The whole percentage thing is like you're not good unless you're like 1600 MMR or higher. Is pretty much what anyone that's good says, and then you got the casuals like me who wants to say he's good, gets shut down by GCs, but then also gets shut down by plats because I have no idea what they're doing. So
You know,
apparently I'm not good.
it was funny because I was, I have friends that play at a lower level. I'm not saying that to speak down, but like he's like a gold. So like one of my good friends is a gold, right? He plays on Xbox. So like I don't play him on on my grandship account against golds. Like that's just not fun for anyone. So
No.
I was playing on my old Xbox account that I don't use anymore, and and we're just playing casual twos, and like this one kid who's like a plat, or at least he claimed he was like he's like, oh man, I would so take you guys. Like, oh, I just have a bad teammate, blah blah blah. And I'm like, okay, like I'm on a and I kind of flexed a little, and I was like I'm a grand champ on a Smurf. Like I could 1v2, and frankly, you wouldn't stand a chance. I'm talking it up now, and this kid's like, no, 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 and then like because I wasn't really like trying before that, and then like I kicked it on, and it's like it's one of those things where like the skill gap, like you don't realize it until you actually start like playing against like
Yeah.
until like you go back, because again, like when you're like making your progression up the ranks, you're only playing against people that you're relatively equally skilled. you know it's always interesting to go back and see like how am I versus a plat, like, oh, I can destroy a platinum, like, oh
Yeah. Yeah. No,
yeah.
there's so many times where like I'll have friends that'll be like, "Hey, can you come Smurf with me for a little while?" And I'm like, "I mean, sure." And then they'll get mad at me. They're like, "We're barely winning," or like we have some games we lost. I'm like, "I can't take
Yeah.
it serious because I don't know what to expect." And they're like, "Well, can you try to take it serious this game?" I'm like, "All right, fine." And I'll start doing things and they're like, "Whoa, this is crazy. Like I've never seen someone air dribble in a game I've been in." Yeah, it's like one of those what? And then you forget. You're like, "All right, that's right. I'm in champ too. People air dribble like it's
Yeah.
nothing." And I was like, and I get it. And it's one of those things like you grow up with your friends and you never realize how tall you get. I don't know if you've
Hmm.
ever thought about that. There's a lot of people I know where I'd be like, you when you're with someone for so long, or with a group of people for so long, you never really notice the changes. But step away from them for a while and then come back, and you'll just be like, "Whoa, what happened? You totally changed." The same thing with your ranks. After a while, you finally hit that high rank. You almost forget what it was like to grind up there.
Yeah, yeah, that's the
So
biggest thing. Like it was did you watch any of Rizzo's Road to
I
Grand
knew you were
Champ
gonna bring up
series?
Rizzo's.
Well,
Yep.
only because it's directly related to the topic, but like it was so
Yeah.
interesting to hear like his perspective, like going through like because like obviously like you knew he was gonna destroy pretty much everyone, up to like the C3
Right.
level or whatever. But like it was so interesting to hear his perspective on like what like he thought of the ranks and like how people played, because he made it look so easy. And when you
Yeah.
watch Rizzo, it's like, okay, well, he's a professional. He's one of the best
Mhm.
professionals at that, and it's like, to watch him go against like these people who are just starting the game, like oh my god, like it's kind of like he just it looks so simple. That's the thing.
Mhm.
It just looks so easy.
Yeah. I don't know, man. If I tried redoing it, I would probably just uninstall Rocket League.
No, no. See, I don't know. This was actually a conversation I had with Ryan a little bit ago. Was like, if I just picked up the game today, like, do I think I would still have a shot at like going pro? And like, I think in theory, yes, but I think with the amount of talent, it's so much harder now than it was. You
Well,
know?
you also have to think about how much has been exploited in the game compared to back then. Back then, air dribbling was the the pro move.
Right.
And today, it's flip resets all everywhere. People are getting like 7 flip resets before they get a goal,
Mm-hmm.
and there's the rapid reset. I know I have to say it before he gets mad at me. Uh, but like people are doing that. They're doing these fakes. People used to just fake on the ground. Now they're faking in the air, like the iconic, the first ever ceiling shot done in RLCS. It wasn't just a ceiling shot;
Yeah,
it
it was
was
a
a
fake.
fake. Like Squishy pretended to hit, faked it, got the flip percent, and shot it in. And it's one of those all these mechanical skills out there now. That's where for me it's like, all right, if you're gonna pick up the game today, you got so much work to put into this compared to anyone that played this since season one of Rocket League or season one of RLCS. Because if something new comes out today, you and I are gonna pick it up. We'll
Mm-hmm.
be able to work our way through it. Someone else trying to come in, they're gonna try to do that while still figuring out how to even hit the ball.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's what I mean. Like, in my opinion, if someone picked up the game today, your road to not even GC, your road to glory and fame and pro is a lot longer or harder than you think it is than when we started, a few years ago.
Yeah, and again, I think it's just because there are so many people now at such a high level that it's like you have to go past all these people too. Like, someone starting
Right.
today is so far behind the curve that it's like, man, like I just I don't know. I don't even know if it'd be possible. I mean, I guess it depends really how long, the scene can sustain itself, in a few years, if someone picked it up today, like sure, maybe. But we're talking,
Mhm.
I mean, at like 2 years plus, I think, from this point. Yeah, again, I don't know. It's a long road.
No, it is. It really is.
And guys, we are kind of in I didn't do the official transition, but we are kind of just freewheeling right here at the moment. So if anybody's lurking in chat and anybody wants to say anything, give us a little topic because we're just about done here. It's actually already 9:05. Oh my god, we're actually over the time. Uh, never mind. I said that.
Sorry, I talk a lot.
No, no, no. It's a good thing. I do the same thing. I could do this show for 3 hours, really, especially with the amount of stuff that we had today. We had so many things today, so many big things. That I was like, ooh. I know. I just looked at the time now, and I was like, oh my god. So, yeah. Well, really quick, randomize any parting thoughts on any of the stuff that we touched on today, because I know again we went through a lot.
Yeah. Um, can't wait for RLRS to start. Excited to cheer on. Make sure you root on for RBG, and I guess you can root on for the rest of the teams. I guess, but we all know RBG, red, black, and gold, all day, every day. Play
And
for the pack. I'm trying to change it now. We would say RBG fam. I'm looking to try to change it to hype the pack or something like that because we do have a panther, so might
and
as well do something with it.
really quick, if I want to be a fan of RBG, where should I go? Give me your Twitter, your Instagram, your Discord, whatever. Let it rip.
All right. So Twitter at RBG_esports. Make sure to follow us there. I believe Instagram is the same thing at RBG_esports. You can check us out on Facebook, which is just RBG esports, no underscore. Check out our website, rbgesports.com. And you can join our Discord, which you'll find on our website. Even, our YouTube channel. We are working on that. Our content creators and our editor has been working his butt off. So go check out our YouTube channel, youtube.com/RBG esports, no underscore. And, you get all the insides and backgrounds of everything that we go through. Honestly, we also host our own podcast called, wow, I forgot.
Oh no.
monthly wrap up. Sorry, I went right on my monthly wrap up. We talk every month about what happened in RBG. We have a series called Another Look, where you can basically see the background of any events that we go to. Our past one, DreamHack Montreal, is up, and our Another Look for the Halo team when they're at UGC Atlantic City is going to be coming up soon. And we're just pumping out more content for you guys, so make sure to subscribe over there. And otherwise, Perino and Playing with Rockets, thank you so much for having me. Really do appreciate it.
It was our absolute pleasure, Randomize. Thank you so much. And guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Once again, be sure to follow us here on Twitch so you can stay up to date with us. We go live every week. We will be uploading this episode later on YouTube and on our podcast services for anyone who was not able to catch it live. Again, Randomize, thank you so much. It was an excellent show. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, no, thank you for having me, man. I'm excited for everything that Playing with Rockets is doing, and I can't wait to see where else you guys go, and hope to get a call to come back again soon.
We'll make sure to stay in touch. Thanks again.
Sounds good. Thank you, man.